Oh, you give me a look. I don't know what that means,
don't
but I'm
know.
making some inferences, and I don't like what I'm coming to.
Probably the people.
I was thinking rats and piss.
Welcome to the Variety Voiceover Nerdcast. This week, two geeks get in touch with their Italian heritage and have a little bit of creepypasta. But first, I'm your host, Derek Yarnovic, joined by my co-host.
Camden Parsons.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I was doing pretty good. We've been hanging out, talking a little bit beforehand. You told me you were gonna do that for your two geeks, and I was like,
Exactly.
oh no.
Yeah.
You did it anyway.
Yeah, why? You told me. You told me
I
too.
didn't like it. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Why not?
It's just a bit silly. You're a bit of a silly goose.
I'm a
sometimes.
silly
You're
goose.
such a silly little goose. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Girlfriend loves it when I do that in bed.
I bet. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Welcome back to Ohio.
Thanks.
How was New York City, man?
New York, Queens. It's a rough borough, but hey, it's home. And then now you gotta say, who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to?
No one, just making a little video of the trip. And now you gotta say, you can't show that to anyone.
You know you can't show that to anyone.
Yeah, I know. Now you have to say, then why are you narrating that voice?
Then why are you narrating in that voice?
Because it's fun. And now you gotta say, fun.
Fun.
Okay, and then, so why do they call you happy? And then the window rolls up. It's the opening to Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. New York, Queens. I thought about that the entire time. I thought about making a little video like that, but I don't know if anyone would get the reference, and I thought it would be dumb and silly, so I didn't. Yeah, New York. It was fun. It was a good time. Yeah.
You did some nerd stuff there. You went to
Yeah.
You went to a comic book shop.
I did. I went to the comic book shop. I don't know if it was the because it's a branch of the comic book shop, but I don't know which one of them is like the definitive like the comic book shop. But I went to Midtown Comics. When I went to was in Times Square.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very good fun time. Good fun time.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, I was a little disappointed. Their selection wasn't great. Obviously I went for the three big ones I like: Spider-Man, Nightwing, and Invincible.
Invincible.
Oh yeah, I guess there it is. But their Invincible selection was okay. They had, I think, 2 of the paper compendiums, 2 of the hardcover compendiums, a couple of the hardcover. What am I thinking of? They're bigger than, they're double the size of a trade. Whatever the hardcover collectums, whatever. And that was it for Invincible. For Nightwing, they had 1 omnibus, which was A Night in Bloodhaven, which was the '90s run, which I don't really care for a whole lot. And then there was for Spider-Man, they had some omnibuses and some trades, but none of it was super great. I started picking through some of the trades, like, I could just get like a little one. I'm in Midtown Comics.
Yeah.
I want to get something Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
They were all bad. They were all Zeb Wells, and I don't know. You don't know a whole lot about
the greatest.
Don't. I know that you don't know a whole lot yet about like specific writers like that, but Zeb Wells basically ruined Spider-Man for the last couple years.
Oh wow! I thought he did a great job.
No, you don't even know what he did. You don't even know. Oh, I'm sorry, Darla. I would.
You scared my cat.
I scared your cat. I'm sorry. No, Zeb Wells is terrible. You ever heard of Paul? You don't know Paul? Okay.
No, I never heard of Paul.
So
Paul Walker?
To make a long story short, Paul was who Mary Jane left Peter Parker for, and then she became Venom. Yeah, as a whole thing. Zeb Wells
just
is
sounds
not good.
weird.
He's very bad. Not a good. Well, I should say for Spider-Man. I don't know his other work, and I hate to just say he's bad. He wouldn't have a job if he was a bad writer. I just don't like what he did with Spider-Man.
Which is fair.
But yeah, so I didn't get any of those. What I did end up picking up, I got the second issue of this new Batman run that's coming out, and a variant cover for that. I got my dad a copy of Deadpool Batman again because the one they had there was the Hulk and Green Lantern, which is one that he didn't have yet, and Green Lantern is his favorite DC superhero. And then I got Astounding Wolfman #1, the trade. I have 3 already. It's I think the only Invincible Universe title that I'm missing.
Yeah.
No, I'm missing Invincible Universe Volume 2, and I'm missing I'm missing something else. I don't know. And then I'm obviously missing all of Ted Jackson. So it's not the only one I'm missing. But I need to collect Wolfman. I have Volume 3 already. I got from the exchange, but I got that. And then I got Oblivion Song Volume 2. Both Kirkman books. And then I also got a physical copy of V for Vendetta.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't get it whenever we did it for the show. I read it digitally because I want to make sure I got it done in time. And then I couldn't find one. So since they had it there, I got V for Vendetta.
I think I bought it as soon as we got challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I wanted to read the physical copy, and then I gave it to my significant other.
Oh, slay.
Yeah. They're a huge fan of V for Vendetta. V is for Vendetta, or whatever it is.
It's V for Vendetta. There's no is.
But
well, it's funny. So here's a quick. I'll do a very brief story time because we actually got called out for our first episode of it, being a nerd cast, and then we didn't really get to a whole lot of nerd stuff until later in the episode. So I'll be quick about it.
We typically catch up.
Well, that's kind of
for a week.
But that's what the point of the first 10-ish minutes of the episode are of us basically just shooting the shit, and then we get into the nerd stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not too afraid about it, but yeah. So basically, I went to New York, with the Turkish girl, and another Turkish girl I met on vacation, and then there was a Turkish guy there that I met while I was there. Quick pivot to that real quick, just because I wanted to finish my thought with the V that when I was in the comic shop, we were walking out. Arda was the name of the Turkish guy, and he showed me. I was showing him what I had gotten because he was like, "What did you get?" And I'm showing him, and he's like, "That mask, I have that mask." Pointing at V for Vendetta. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. This is where that mask came from." He's like, "Oh, Vendetta." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then he slipped it back in my bag and walked away. I was like, "That's kind of concerning."
Because isn't it the mask Anonymous wears?
Yep. I mean, because obviously we've read the story for V for Vendetta. It's kind of like an icon of anarchy of take down the government.
Right.
So not to make any assumptions about him. I feel like that's like pointing at him. I thought that was funny. He was like, "I have that," and I was like, "Yeah, this is what it came from." He's like, "Oh, okay,
okay."
Oh.
Slide.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
Slowly back into your bag.
But I did. I went. I saw a Turkish girl again. Her name's Jalen. She's great. Here's the thing though, and I'd like to put a pretty little bow on this. And this is kind of for my sake.
Yeah.
When I went there with the goal to at least not that. I'm a good boy. I'm a good young man. No, I kind of wanted to kiss her because I told the whole story last season. If you're interested in the whole Turkish girl arc, you can check out season 1 of the Variety Voiceover. Maybe start a little bit later though. I listened to season 1 episodes 1 and 2 today. Yikes! This is why we're doing a volume 2. Start here. Yeah. But yeah, if you're interested in the story, I met this girl on vacation and I kind of felt like there was some kind of connection there, and I let her slip away and nothing came of it. So that's the reason I went to New York. I wanted to at least kiss her. I wanted to find out if there was something there. But then we're hanging out, we're walking the streets of New York, and I just kind of really felt like there wasn't. I think she's great. She really is great, and I like her as a friend. I just felt like whatever connection that I thought there was there in North Carolina, it wasn't there anymore. And I don't know if it's because there wasn't anything in the first place, or if I had just misread the situation, or if things just changed, or whatever it was. But no, I don't think there was anything there. I think that I got the closure I needed.
Good.
I enjoyed the time I spent with not just her, but the rest of the group. I got to see some pretty cool stuff. As a Spider-Man fan, it was really cool. There was one point where we're walking through Central Park, and they were like, "Is there anything else worth seeing here?" I was like, "I know that there's a castle over there," and they're like, "What's it called?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just landed on it a couple times." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Spider-Man." There's a lot of different times where I took a picture of Joe's Pizza.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What is?" And I was like, "This is where Spider-Man delivers pizza at the beginning of the second Tobey Maguire movie." There's one part where we're in Central Park and there's this one structure there that's like a half cylinder.
Okay.
Kind of thing, and I took a picture of that. They're like, "Why do you want to picture that?" And I was like, "This is where Miles Morales gets his first suit in the PS4 game."
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much
everything Spider-Man related.
They didn't talk to me a whole lot because they all spoke Turkish. They were mainly just talking to each other in Turkish. So anytime they really talked to me, it was basically just like, "Hey, we're doing this now." I'm like, "Okay." Or it was,
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, and the answer was always Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Except there was one time I took a picture of something else. The white team picture that I was like, oh, that over there is Hell's Kitchen. That's a Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's not Spider-Man. It's something different.
Imagine they like turn to each other and was like, this fucking nerd.
Yeah, I
Turkish.
didn't know what they were saying the entire time, so they very well could have been like, this guy's a huge loser.
Yeah.
But Arda and I got clicked really well. He thought I was cool. You know, he asked to follow me on Instagram before we parted ways.
That's awesome.
I didn't really talk to the other girl.
Take the pillow away towards the end of it.
Listen, okay, when I said I wanted to split the beds, I didn't mean I wanted to sleep with the Turkish dude, okay? There was a pillow between us. Nothing weird happened, but I had to sleep with another dude.
You had to sleep with a dude.
When I said to the Turkish girl, I said, Jaylin, you know, I don't mind there being two beds. We might just have to split the beds. I didn't mean I wanted to sleep next to Arda. Nothing against Arda. Great guy. Didn't want to sleep next to him. Wanted to sleep next to the pretty girl.
Well, how'd that work out?
It didn't. It's a hard knock life for us.
That's hilarious. So you said you went to Hell's Kitchen. Did you like get any special New York City foods while you were there?
I did. I got to try the pizza.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what the place was called. I think it was called Made in New York Pizza, which is really cool. We wanted to get from Joe's Pizza, but the line there was super long.
I imagine for like good authentic like pizza, I imagine it's probably going to be like a long way.
The thing is they're everywhere there. You can find good New York pizza shops everywhere. The thing about Joe's Pizza specifically is like it is a tourist attraction from being in Spider-Man. Like they literally have a sign up in there that says you saw us in Spider-Man 2. Like it's a tourist thing. So that's why that one took so long. But the one we went to, there was one person in there, they were eating already. Like their order was already taken.
Oh wow.
It was really good. And then I also did buy a hot dog cart, a cart hot dog, because I felt like, you know.
How was that? I like hot dogs. I'm a big hot dog fan.
The problem though is almost every single cart had all beef hot dogs, and I'm not the biggest fan of all beef.
Yeah. I like a good all beef, natural casing hot dog.
I like them disgusting. I like them to the point where I don't even want to know what's in there.
Well, yeah, but
when growing up, my mom used to get beef hot. My mom doesn't eat pork because she thinks pigs are too cute. Yeah, I know. I think this the face you made summed up exactly how I feel about that.
Okay.
So growing up, we never had like beef hot dogs in the house when I was living with my mom.
Yeah.
There was one time, or excuse me, pork. There was one time she got chicken hot dogs.
Gross.
Yeah, you ever had a chicken hot dog?
Yeah, it's not good.
Ugh. I still think about it sometimes and get mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we're trying this out. Yeah, I tried the hot dog too. Those were the two biggest things. The hardest thing, we also went to this place called Katz, which to my knowledge is actually a pretty big like New York like staple thing. I didn't know that. Actually, Arda suggested it.
Is it essentially like, is it based off of the Broadway play?
No. It's a sandwich shop that's been there I think since the 70s maybe.
Oh.
But it's like fancy sandwich. I paid $30 for my sandwich.
Ooh.
But it was corned beef.
Oh.
It was a corned beef. Oh, and there was so much meat on it, dude.
Was it good?
Oh, it was so good. I wasn't even hungry when we went in there, and those sandwiches were
for $30 for lunch meat. Absolutely.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was like they pulled a searing log of meat out of this like fryer and then sliced it in front of me.
Okay.
Like, dude, it was legit.
Okay.
And then they put it all. It was probably like that tall.
Got you a Scooby-Doo sandwich?
Literally, dude,
got
like,
$30
$30 is steep, but it's fancy, expensive meat, and they put a lot of it on there.
Yeah.
And honestly, dude, worth it.
Good.
I was not hungry when I went in there, and I ended up eating most of it. If I was actually hungry, I could have eaten all of it.
Wild.
But yeah, and then aside from that, they just got fast food the whole time. There's no like authentic like New York aside from what I just named. Yeah, because I think the first time we went there, we had Chipotle.
Yeah,
and then we had.
I think you sent me a picture.
You, I did, yeah.
And I was like, your first fucking meal in New York City was Chipotle.
That's why I talked to Arda when we went to Katz. I was like, this is what I was excited for. I wanted like actual like New York food.
Things you're not going to be able to get
exactly.
at home.
I eat Chipotle all the time here.
Yeah.
You know,
like there's one right next to our work.
Yeah, we also got one we went to McDonald's at one point. We went to Wendy's at one point. I broke my personal cardinal rule, and I had to eat Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
And that was kind of the moment when I was like, you know what? Maybe there's nothing between me and this girl. Because she chose Chick-fil-A over Shake Shack. And I don't trust anybody who makes that decision.
Yeah. I've never had Shake Shack.
What?
Where is
Actually,
one?
I can't even say that because I've only had it once. I've been thinking about it since.
There's no Shake Shack around here.
Because I went on a Columbus trip for school.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we
We'll
had
have to make a
it.
trip. Because I want to try it. I've always wanted to try Shake Shack. But yeah, I'm really glad that you had an experience in New York City. I mean, that's probably most people's bucket list to go there once.
Oh, yeah. Especially as someone who's such a big comic book fan,
Right.
you know, obviously, not only is that, obviously we joked about it, but like seriously, where like all the Spider-Man stuff happens,
Right.
Daredevil, there's a bunch of the Fantastic Four there, things like that. I was trying to find, there's an area, I don't know where the Baxter building is in the comics, but I was trying to find, the MetLife building is where Avengers Tower is in the movies. I actually passed Grand Central Station too when we were trying to get to the hotel, and Grand Central Station is where there's a level in Spider-Man PS4 where you fight Mr. Negative in Grand Central Station, and then there's also in Lego Marvel Superheroes you fight Sandman and the Abomination there in the very first level.
Hell yeah.
Like there's so much like superhero nerd, especially Marvel, like nerd stuff that is involved with New York that I was super excited to like be able to go there and see all that. But yeah, I mean, we'll put a pretty bow on this because this has been a long thing. But yeah, basically, long story short, nothing happened with Turkish Girl. That arc is over. New York is sweet. I talk about Spider-Man too much. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good time to, because I didn't really do anything this week. There's really not much of anything.
No.
I started playing Borderlands 4.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. My brother loves Borderlands.
It's a solid game. It's my first real
Looter shooter?
Borderlands. Because I played the Tiny Tina's one.
I like that one.
It was fantastic. I really enjoyed that one. Mostly because it had D&D related stuff, and I'm a big fan of D&D. But yeah, we've been playing that a lot. We finished the campaign, and that was fun. And I live a boring life.
That's okay. And to be honest, though, so do I. And that's part of the reason I did the whole New York thing. Is just like sometimes you need a break from the monotony. You know, I just like, and I think that the whole Turkish Girl thing was a good motivator for it.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, I could have done that whenever.
Yeah.
Just got up, hauled ass, and went somewhere, and I did.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how easy it was to get time off for work. My boss never bothered to ask me what I needed it for. I just told him I needed to go out of town. And then the day before I left, we had a meeting in the morning, and he was like, where are you going? And I was like, to my first store. He's like, no, like for your trip. And I was like, oh, New York. And I start walking by that point. He says something. I'm like, I can't really hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what? Huh? And I get closer, and he's like, you're not going to see that Turkish Girl, are you? And I went, oh, no, sorry, I can't hear you. I got to get my story. He goes, he was like, I don't know if he was genuinely mad or not, but I mean, yeah, that's exactly why. He never bothered to ask. I had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in front of me, and damn, I took it.
Yep.
Anyway.
Alrighty. Well, I think we should go ahead and get on to our main topic today.
Yeah, let's pivot. What do you want to talk about?
Pivot! And I think we're going to talk about creepypastas. I think the introduction kind of brought a little bit of a segue into that, and I think that, creepypastas are something that I genuinely enjoy.
Whoa, you can't just like immediately go into that. Why are we talking about creepypastas?
It's October, man.
It's October.
I think so. Yeah, let me go ahead and preface this by saying that we wanted to do October big in a way that spooky shit is fantastic. So this episode we're gonna do creepypastas. And then I don't know if we're gonna go into.
Don't spoil,
we're not gonna spoil it.
Just we have some stuff planned for October in line with the horror, spooky, scary scene to line up with Halloween, because that's something we're both into, and it's not something that we get to talk about a whole lot often.
I think we set the foundation for this almost from the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, actually, because I went back and was listening, and I'm pretty sure I had mentioned wanting to do some spooky stuff in October in episode 2.
Yeah.
The second episode. Maybe in the third one is why I say it. But
so here we are 6-7 months later.
I hate you so much. I can't believe you. That hurt my soul.
That wasn't intentional. But here we are.
Yeah, okay.
But Yeah, we're going to talk about creepypastas today. We're going to talk about some of our favorites, kind of what really got us into creepypastas, because I think that's one of the first things that we bonded over. Was having the conversations about those.
I'm gonna have to tell something deeply personal.
Yeah,
Deeply personal, something I didn't want to ever share on this show.
well, yeah, but my significant other actually really got me into creepypastas.
Yeah, so this is more of a recent thing for you.
It is within like the past year or so.
Oh wow.
I would say probably a year and a half. I've been
So we're like I'm like Wendigoon and you're like Papa Meat.
Yeah. I am the big Papa Meat. You kind of look like Wendigo.
I'll look maybe a little bit. Not
Yeah.
not
Get yourself a porn mustache and you be
what?
good. You got the lips.
I do have the lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Wendigo got the lips, man. I'm not quite as round as Papa Meat though. So
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so in the last like year or so, I'm the opposite. I that's where that correlation comes in. I've been listening to creepypastas since I was like 11. In fact, I was as a kid was so anti anything scary ever. And funny enough, it's about when Five Nights at Freddy's came out and got popular, where I wanted to hop on the trend. Because especially at that point in my life, like because Five Nights at Freddy's came out when I was in about the 5th grade. And obviously at that point in my life, I was like, I wanted to be cool so bad more than anything. Actually, here's another funny anecdote. When we were going from 4th to 5th grade, we transferred schools. And my parents sat us down over the summer and they were like, do you guys want, well, they asked my other two brothers, Clayton and Corey, if they wanted to play football. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, I want to play. And I'm sure and I'm sure anyone who's listening to the show can know that's
not a good
an
idea
absurd and unlike me thing to do. Yeah. And they're like,
really?
Yeah, are you sure? I was like, yeah. Thinking to myself that like joining the football team made me instantly cool.
No.
Here's the thing. It was minor league like football. Yeah. Right. So like the JV band. I was in the Bantam League.
Yeah. You were a child.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Bantam football.
Yeah. I was also in 5th grade, and everybody on my team was in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
So that any type of credit that I would have gotten from being on the football team did not transfer into school because no one at school knew I was on the football team.
Yeah, no one cared.
So I hated that. But anyway, I digress. My point was I just wanted to be popular.
Yeah.
So when Five Nights at Freddy's picked up and gained popularity, I didn't like scary stuff, but I just wanted to be popular. So I kind of like jumped on it too. I was like, yeah, guys, Five Nights at Freddy's. In any horror game that you guys suggested in mass, I saw that Young Mash had played it, and he said it was very scary. So I'm very eager to see what's up. That is a terrifying animatronic bear. Security guard, looking for a security guard to work the night shift.
Yeah.
The first night. If I didn't want to say the first night, why would I say any more than 5? Why would I say any more than 2? Hello. I was quoting Markiplier.
Yeah.
That's the entire intro to the first episode of the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I digress so hard there. I'm so sorry.
Five Nights at Freddy's came out at a weird time for me because I was out of high school. It was,
because you're like a million years old.
Yeah. But like it was
according to
that's kid stuff. That's baby stuff kind of thing. And I just never really got into it until the movie came out, really.
Yeah, that's actually a video idea I have, and probably what I'm going to make for November. Basically kind of like chronologically going with like growing up with Five Nights at Freddy's, and my main topic of that video is going to be like, was it ever actually scary, or were we just children?
Right.
So that's kind of the idea I have for my November video.
I feel like that goes to say with a lot of the early creepypastas, because I mean a lot of those stories like Jeff the Killer, like the funny cringy ones.
Yeah.
I imagine are a lot more scary whenever you're a child.
Oh yeah, and that's how it was for me when I was a kid. Because like I said, I remember my other stepbrother Aiden was the one who got me into scary stuff. Because okay, here it is. Ready? This is the deeply personal story that I didn't want to have to share, but it's in line with what we're talking about. Okay, so when I was in middle school, well, okay, let me backtrack. So my older brother was trying to get me into the scary stuff, right? So the one time he used to watch, Mr. Nightmare?
No.
He's a horror channel on YouTube. He does scary readings at like his.
I'm maybe I have if it's like just random stories about
like there are viewer submitted, like people who watch him will send in like scary things that have happened to them, and he reads them out. But he would watch them all the time, and he made me get into it. I remember specifically the very first one I ever listened to was one called 4 Terrifying True Babysitter Stories. And I was like, oh, okay. And then here it is. Here's the actual bit.
Yep.
Throughout the 6th and 7th grade, I went through a My Little Pony phase. Very embarrassing. Very ashamed to admit that. But there is a very famous creepypasta called Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
That, because, like I said, my brother was into that stuff, he sat me down, held me down, and made me listen to the entirety of Cupcakes.
Yeah.
And that scarred me.
I'm sure it did.
I still think about that. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to think about these characters in that light, And then
it was essentially torture porn.
Yeah. Yeah, very well written, weirdly enough, too. Like, it describes what's happening in great detail.
Sure does.
And I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all.
But yeah, so that's actually how I got into it, because I listened to that, and at the end of it, I was like, that was kind of exhilarating.
What else is there?
Yeah. So then it was from there, me and him we would listen to creepypastas while we'd play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare together.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of how I got my start. And then I got to a point where like I liked listening to the kind of longer ones, because they, it'd be better. Because I'd used to sit and like play like Minecraft, so I didn't want to have to keep like switching, because I didn't get distracted from the game. So that's how I got into my favorites, and I feel like that's
I think my introduction to it was off of a suggestion. I think Creepcast was suggested to me. After there was small conversations with my significant other where they were talking about what they were listening to or reading at the point.
Yeah.
And I think that my first one was Baraska.
Ever?
I think it was.
Whoa,
I think I went 0 to 100.
Dude, yeah, you can't start with Baraska. That's insane.
I think, that sounds right.
That's crazy.
It was either that or like one of the earlier Creepcasts, because that's where I listened to it.
A lot of the very beginning episodes of Creepcast are some of the more famous creepypastas,
which would make sense.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that they covered all of my favorite ones before I started watching them, which was nice, because when I got to catch up, it was like all the stuff I liked was already there.
No, the first one was the Russian sleep experiment.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was the first one that I watched. But then, like, there was the Jeff the Killer, and then the Stairs in the Woods, and then it was Baraska.
I'm really excited. They just uploaded an episode about Smile Dog. I haven't listened to it yet, but Smile Dog was one that terrified me as a kid.
We listened to it on Spotify. We listen to it every Saturday when it comes out.
The ones that have like some kind of like ARG, essentially like extra stuff to them, are the ones that creep me out the most as a kid, because with Smile Dog especially, like the picture that goes along with it, like if you look at it at all, Smile Dog is supposed to come haunt you. So as a kid, I was like, I can't, like, that picture genuinely terrified me so bad, because I was like, even just looking at it is enough for this thing to come get me. And what's really funny is, as a kid, like I hated being afraid, but I loved listening to scary stuff. So I would always just like logic my way out of being afraid, especially because, circle back again real quick to Five Nights at Freddy's. When I first got into it, it scared me a lot, because big scary monsters, robots coming at you, whatever. But then in the game, they specify that I think it's in the second game where they call out the fact that they are fine to children.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they give adults this like stink glare, like there's something they're hiding in this, whatever.
Well, isn't it because they're children?
Yeah. I mean, there's lore reasons for it, whatever. Yeah, but no, like for me at least, it was just like, I don't have to worry about it. I'm a child.
Yeah.
They're not gonna attack me.
Yeah.
But you obviously could do that with Smile Dog, because Smile Dog is real and he's coming for you if you look at this picture. But then in the same breath, like I feel like there's a lot of them that like that was counterintuitive for, like the ones like the like Squidward's. I don't know if we can say it.
Yeah, Schmooishide.
Yeah, Squidward's sewer slide. But and things like that. You know, a lot of the lost media ones.
Yeah.
I never liked those because even as a kid, I was like, they wouldn't make that.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if the point of them
was the reality of it all for you, like the real consequences of something on the internet that could actually get you.
Yeah, but that's why I think I enjoy the ones that are more like, I guess, feasible, but definitely fiction. Because like I said, the ones Smile Dog got me because the picture was the whole bit. But like I said, things like those, they didn't really faze me at all. I don't believe in ghosts, so any of like the haunting, the demon ones, etc., they never really got to me.
Really?
Yes, the ones that I like a lot, my 3 favorites.
Yep.
Are the ones that I think they're extreme, obviously, because that's the point of the story.
Mhm.
But they're things that could feasibly happen.
Yeah. And I think I know where you're going with this.
My favorite creepypasta I've talked about here before is Pen
Yeah.
Pal. Pen Pal is easily my favorite. I think it's one of, if not the best written of the more famous ones.
Yeah, they turned it into a book, and he's also the creator of like a lot of very famous films.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that author more. I don't remember. It's David something. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But I just love the concept a lot. I think children main characters are some of the easiest ones to write because, you know, obviously, and we've talked about it now, like as a kid, things are a lot scarier than they are as an adult, just because as an adult, you're able to kind of handle yourself a bit more. So I feel like things like that become less scary because you know you can handle it to a degree. But I like stories like that where like Pen Pal, you know, the evil isn't like in your face, it's not chasing you, this, that, whatever. Like you don't actually get any type of interaction or lore with whatever the person stalking the main character is until the very end, and it's not even with the main character. That story is phenomenal. And then I think my second favorite is actually Borrasca. Borrasca is pretty widely regarded as probably the best creepypasta ever written, and I definitely see why. I just like the style and the writing of, and the story really just of Pen Pal more. But Borrasca is the twists, the turns, the way they build up the characters. I really do feel they're like Borrasca 2. I guess it's Borrasca 5 technically.
Yeah.
Kills the story. I didn't know that existed until I went and re-listened to it again for the first time like a year or two ago, right before the Creepcast episode came out. And that's when I found out there was a second part, and I didn't really care for it. And then they just tore it apart on Creepcast, and I was like, yeah. And that to me, it kind of kills it a little bit. Borrasca's a great story, but like,
yeah, I really, really enjoyed. I didn't like Borrasca as much as I do now until I listened to the Cole Sprouse rendition of it.
I liked that, but I think I like the original story better.
But then again, I haven't read it myself. My basic, I've listened to it via Creepcast and then the Cole Sprouse version.
Well, I'm not much of a reader. I think I've talked about that on here before. Most of the way I've consumed those stories was through both Mr. Creepypasta and Creeps McPasta. I think as a kid I liked Creeps McPasta more, but Mr. Creepypasta's on Spotify, so I've listened to him a lot. Mr. Creepypasta, I listen to his rendition of Pen Pal once a year, at least.
Is the Dathan Ackerbach?
Oh, Dathan.
Yeah.
I said David.
Yeah, Dathan Ackerbach is the creator, and I imagine I know that they said it in the Creepcast, but like it was a bunch of like really like popular things.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Try to get into it to get a little bit more sources, but Borrasca is up in my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the. I don't know it. I love the way that they almost made it seem like fantasy and like the shiny gentleman, and the way that they danced around the idea of it being supernatural,
like an urban legend or something like that.
Right,
Yeah,
something that like wasn't human beings. And then you get fucking slapped in the face.
Yeah, pause, because we probably should. I kind of did it a little bit, and we're doing it now with Borrasca too, but we should probably say like spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning and viewer discretion. Like the
Well,
subjects, but the subjects that we're trying to talk about, We're not going to talk about them in depth, but at the same time, they can be triggering for some.
Yeah.
But the way that they go about it, like it just, by the end of it, you realize it's the fucking people. Like it's the people.
And that to me is always my favorite thing is like I said, demons, ghosts, this, that, whatever you want to make. Yeah, sure. But like to me, the scariest thing is always man.
Right.
People. You know, like that's why, like I said, Pen Pal is terrifying because it's just a guy.
Yeah.
It's just a guy, and he tortures and ruins that kid's life.
Yes.
Broska, same thing. The Shining Gentleman, whatever. The was it the something tree? The
triple
tree.
Yeah.
The triple tree, less than that, whatever. But then it ends up just being a guy.
Yeah.
And my last one that's my favorite is 1999. But that one I like a lot for the same reason until the end because it is just a guy. And then at the end, it's like, oh, well, actually, he was a Satanist and he did all this so that he could try and make sacrifices to the devil. And it's like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
I love 1999, but I think the ending kills it. That's why it's only number 3 for me.
Yeah. So kind of went through Broska is my number 1. I really enjoyed the left-right game. I liked the idea of like that, you know, a lot of the earlier creepypastas, they have if you do this, then this will happen.
Yeah.
You have to follow a specific thing to an exact T, and then, you know.
And the left-right game is one of the best examples of that.
Yeah, it's probably, you know, one of the best stories in following along with the main characters through their, you know, you have to stick to this exact thing.
Yeah.
It was a really good, enjoyable listen.
See, that one I feel the opposite about because I really like exploration stories of like this strange, crazy, different, scary place, whatever. But what made me the ending to that, I didn't like at all.
You didn't like the way that they approached like the infinite.
Nope. Because like I said, that falls under the same like that type of stuff. The whole point of it is humans can't grasp it.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole point is at the end, it's like, actually, I became God. And the reason I went there in the first place is because I later, me as God, decided I needed to be there. And all those people had to die because who cares? I'm God.
Yeah.
You know, ow. I thought it was so great, so compelling. I was so invested. And then that happened. I was like, this story's dumb.
I didn't have that same reaction. I thought that, you know, it kind of, I like the ending twist turns. And I think that's where a lot of it comes into play with how my top 3 comes into play. You know, it puts a lot of perspective on it.
He said the thing! He said the thing!
But genuinely, I think that it you are so invested in a story over, you know, an hour or 2 hours of listening to it. And then
Left-Right game's a lot longer than
Left-Right game, but I'm just saying, like, as in a general
okay.
speaking of like why I like the twist or turn at the end of it was because of, you know, you're invested in a certain thing and you're like,
that's part of the reason I love Pen Pal so much because especially there's a point, the one story I do think they kind of rush it a little bit because they don't introduce her until that story, and then all that stuff happens, but the stuff with Veronica, and I want to say it's chapter 4 of 6, I think.
Okay.
5 maybe. The main character's best friend's older sister. Right? It's revealed in that chapter that like, he's always thought she was really pretty, and then one day when they're teenagers, he sees her at a theater, and he asks her out, and by some crazy chance, she says yes, and they're supposed to go see a movie together. It's great. They're having a great time, and then when they leave the theater, it's like 2 a.m. because it's like a special midnight showing, whatever, and no one else is there. They've spent so much time laughing, talking. The parking lot's empty, and he has to pee. So he goes over and like it's trying a way out of distance to make sure that like she doesn't hear or see him peeing because he's a gentleman.
Right.
And then she gets hit by a car. Not just hit by a car, like mauled by the and then he comes out to stick what the ruckus was, and she's so. The way they describe it, it still gets me. Like I can't remember exactly the wording for it, but something about like the way she was mangled, he couldn't tell which way she was facing, but her face was up. And there was one point whenever like he thought she was dead, and then she regained like consciousness, and specifically I remember he says she tried to breathe in the entire world at once, And just that visual has always like it breaks my heart so much because that girl didn't do anything. She's completely innocent. She's not even introduced until that chapter.
Yep.
And like that poor girl didn't do anything. And this stalker guy just got so jealous. And so he killed her. Dude, that part still to this day just that part is so hard for me to listen to because I just feel because there's this build up, this connection, not even just to the main character, but also they do a really good job. Like I said, it is a bit rushed because she's not introduced to that chapter,
right?
And he even says something like, "I know we didn't know each other very long, but I think I loved her." I'm like, "No, you didn't. Calm down."
Yeah.
But that's a whole different can of worms. But they do such a good job building up both those characters that I care, and I'm honestly there for the romance. I'm excited to like I'm invested.
Right.
And then she gets hit by a car and dies. It's so sad.
Yeah.
What's your number 3? I think we got a bit distracted there.
So my number 3 is kind of weird, mostly because I like the idea of just like I like aliens and I like the supernatural.
Oh, so you like the movie Aliens in the Attic?
No.
Okay.
But it's burger entries.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I like the idea of like someone being immune to like their like psychological thing of it all, where it's like it's feeding them these things that are going to turn them into food.
Sure. And
I like the idea of like just not being able to trust the world around you because you're like, you know, it's feeding into that like endorphin rush that like he's the only one that sees these things as like gross maggot filled or like bloodied pieces of meat that these people are just scarfing down like the best thing they've ever eaten.
See, but okay, so this is what I love about stories like that too, especially with an unfaithful narrator. You're taking it at face value, right? Like in your acceptance of that story is that stuff's actually happening and no one else sees it, right?
Yeah.
In any situation where this is actually happening, no one else can see it. I'm doing finger quotes because this is an audio show.
Yeah.
I don't think it was real. I think what happened is that our narrator went through a psychotic break. I don't think that any of what happened in that story was real. I think that story was an exploration of his mental health deteriorating and him thinking he was seeing stuff that wasn't there. You know,
which is fair.
I recently heard this story. It was like a Reddit like account deep dive thing, whatever. And this guy had he was like schizophrenic or something like that. Didn't want to take medication because he didn't want to feel like he was being altered. Or whatever, like it wasn't authentic to himself or whatever. And he ended up becoming convinced that the hallucinations that he was seeing were something from another dimension trying to break into our reality. And he convinced himself that the dimensional portal that he had to close was in the Paris catacombs. And he ended up going to Paris into the catacombs, and then no one heard from him for 4 years. Crazy enough, he managed to go in the catacombs and come out alive because I don't know how familiar you are with the Paris catacombs, but that is not something that happens very often at all.
I think my understanding of the catacombs comes from As Above, So Below.
I think I know what that is.
It's a movie about the catacombs. Like it's a good movie. It's a good, bad movie.
Okay, I like good bad movies.
But I think it's an older one. But
I do know that I don't know the exact number, but most of the Paris catacombs are completely unexplored.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go, even people who know where they're going, if you go into the unexplored parts, it's basically a death sentence.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's stories about, and this goes into like the creepy things of it all. There's stories of people living in the catacombs and that they're thriving down there. And then if you go down there with a headlamp, they'll actually steal it from you. They'll run up to you and steal it.
Really?
Leaving you absolutely...
That's creeping me out. That's giving me the chills.
Because it's pitch black down there. There's no light sources whatsoever.
Yeah.
And, I mean, these people are adjusted down there and you know, they live in the darkness and everything like that.
But how? What are they eating? What are they drinking? Oh. You're giving me a look. I don't know what that means, but I'm making some inferences, and I don't like what I'm coming to.
Probably the people.
I was thinking rats and piss. I don't know what's worse.
Probably. But like there's the implications that there's people living down there and maybe cultists and Satanists and all that kind of stuff.
I like the idea. I like the idea of cults and scary stories too, mainly because not because of the religious aspects. I've said before, like I said, I don't really like religious stuff like that, but I do like the idea of cults because it comes back to it's the people.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the time in a cult, whatever it is they believe in is nothing.
Yeah.
But what's scary is that horde mentality of all believe in it and they're all willing to do some pretty messed up things for that cause. So whether or not what they believe in is real does not matter. Cults are still freaky.
For sure.
I
mean, it's one charismatic guy having people believe. Like there's so many cults, and like I've gone into a couple deep dives with watching a bunch of Wendigoon's videos.
Oh yeah, Wendigoon's
cults.
Great place to go about that.
And it's like he goes in depth, and like there's so many interesting ones out there. But like I can't understand a cult mentality. But then again, I'm also not very insecure about my beliefs in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the step one. You got to have very impressionable people,
or just people who are
looking for something to believe in.
Answers, really, like I think that's ultimately. I don't know. I'm sure there's a better word than insecure to go about it, but that is probably that's a great way to say it. I think though, just people who they're just looking for answers, and when you find somebody who's confident enough to be like, "This is right," you're probably gonna believe them. It's scary. It genuinely is, and I think that stuff's crazy.
I think there's still some cults that are going on right now.
Oh yeah, cults are still around and a very real thing. Just I don't think they get as much popularity or traction as much as they probably did back in the day because it was a much bigger thing. And also on top of that too, it's and this is diving into real territory stuff makes it a little more difficult because like a lot of time it comes down to some sort of religion thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of time you don't really realize the difference between cult and religion until it's too late.
Yeah.
Because normally it's just a normal religion thing, and then all of a sudden there's a switch, and people don't realize it because they've already been following for a while, and then it switches from religion to cult, and no one realizes it.
Yeah, at that point they're so deep in that like they've already given all of their wealth and ability to leave.
Well, not even just that; they just believe in the cause. So when it switches to that point, they don't realize it because they're already that invested.
Yeah.
Even if it gets to a point where they're like, yeah, I want to back out. Maybe you're right. They've divulged too much to it to be able to back out. But at the end of the day, like they don't typically want to. That's why so many people drank the Kool-Aid.
What do you mean? I like Kool-Aid. Can I have some?
Yeah, Derek. Yeah, you want some grape Kool-Aid, buddy?
I thought it was.
Actually, fun fact. Maybe here's a fun fact. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was something. It was some opera. I want to say it was called Flavor Aid.
Flavor Aid. Speaking of that, our sponsor for this week, Flavor Aid.
Could you imagine? That would be crazy. So I don't like AI.
Yeah.
At all. But normally when you Google something, it gives you an AI overview right away.
For sure.
I just Googled what did Heaven's Gate drink.
Yep.
And it said you were asking about a substance consumed by the members of the Heaven's Gate cult. That event involved a mass suicide. Providing details about the method is not possible. That's kind of spooky a little bit.
Yeah, but it is. Didn't they believe that they were going on like a spaceship that was passing by?
Yeah, that was kind of the whole point. In order to be able to get to the ship, you had to leave your like bodily vessel behind.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it wasn't actually Flavor Aid. I guess like the actual accountings of it. Kraft Foods, which are the people who make Kool-Aid, don't want their beverage linked to this event, which obviously happened regardless because of the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid. Everyone thinks it's Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Apparently it was Kool-Aid, but COOL, not KOOL, like actual drink, because it was an off brand. It was a generic brand. So it was technically Kool-Aid, but not like Kool-Aid.
It was Kool-Aid.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I like spooky stuff in the rabbit hole, something like that. Like I said, the cult stuff is a little harder to get into, especially when you talk about like real stuff like this, just because it's a little bit of a heavier subject. But I've always just found that stuff interesting. I love me a good creepypasta. I like.
What is your least favorite one? Like when you hear it, you just like, oof.
I feel like I know what you want me to say, and it's not that, honestly. Like, that's not a good one at all, but I think it's so funny because of how bad it is that it's entertaining still. As far as, like, genuinely bad, I think a genuinely bad creepypasta is one that that's good at the start, and then like, it reels you in, it has this potential, and then pivots. Because that's what frustrates me the most. Whenever I get invested and I care about the story, and then suddenly it sucks. Oh no! You know what one really sucks?
Huh?
I Dare My Best Friend to Ruin My Life.
Oh,
that one's a hard listen.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a good one. So mine, and for obvious reasons, it's Tommy Taffy.
well, okay, you go ahead and talk about that first, but I have some thoughts about that.
I do not like the in-depth way of some godlike creature that it comes back and like diddles your children.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Okay.
Yeah, like just like it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm glad when they did that on Creepcast, they basically skipped over that part.
Yeah, like it's basically a generational curse that comes back and assaults your children.
See, the hard part about the story is when they do things like that, and that's why, like, I think things like that aren't things that necessarily you can't talk about, because obviously we both ranked Baraska super high, and it covers a very similar subject matter. I think how you go about it and the detail you put into it is what makes a difference on how it's handled,
right?
Because especially with a subject matter as serious as that, I mean, it's great for easy shock value because it's so terrible no one wants to hear about it or see it.
Exactly.
You know, that I think it works in Baraska because it's kind of more of like a boom, here's the horrible reveal, and then from there it's kind of in the background.
Right.
Which is why I don't think that you could ever do like a movie of Baraska or anything like that.
No.
Because to have that portrayed on screen would be a lot different than just describing the main character getting to the end of that.
Yeah.
You know?
It felt more like a shell shock at the end of it as a punchline.
Yeah, boom, big punch.
It was
and then from there it was a background thing.
It was like a ringing instead of it being something.
That's a great way to describe it. It was more of like you dealt with the ripple as opposed to actually having to deal with it.
Right.
You know, versus with Tommy Taffy, it felt more like instead of boom, here it is, it's this awful thing. It's like, let's sit with this. I'm gonna make you lose. And that to me takes away the fear aspect of it and is more just almost kind of feels like a smut thing almost.
Yeah.
And when I'm not saying that it is glorifying it, but when you put that much detail in it, it kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone wants to
deal
with that. So, and that's another one that's frustrating too, and that's a perfect example of what I was just talking about, where Tommy Taffy is a really good story. It's creepy, it's interesting. Tommy Taffy is a really good like antagonist because he's so creepy and weird, and there's nothing you can do about him. And then you get to that part, and it's like, this ruins it.
Yeah.
That's a great example. I totally forgot about Tommy Taffy. That's a good one. I also want to touch real quick on the fact that like a lot of older creepypastas, especially around like the start of like the boom of them, like 2011 to like 2014-ish.
Yeah.
When you think creepypastas, who do you think of?
Slenderman.
You think Slenderman.
Yeah. And
it really kind of frustrates me, especially because at the time when I was listening to creepypastas a lot, I kind of just listened to random ones here and there. It wasn't like the big like, hard heavy hitters at first. It was kind of just random ones here and there. So when I later, because I didn't really find out the whole like Slenderman lore. I knew about Slenderman and I knew about Marble Hornets, but I didn't know like the in-depth, like, what are they called? The people who do his bidding or whatever. There's a name for it and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but almost every creepypasta at the time was essentially like an Avengers type build-up thing where like at the end of it, like everyone is secretly like working for Slenderman. And like Tiki Toby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I thought Tiki Toby was part of the Slenderman.
I didn't know that until that Creepcast episode. I didn't even know who Tiki Toby was. I knew ones like there's a Jack. I always think, is it Eyeless Jack?
That sounds,
because Laughing Jack's the one that I know, and Laughing Jack's not part of it as far as I know. Laughing Jack was another one that messed me up as a kid because a genuine like horrifying fear of mine is being accused of something that I didn't do, that I can't prove that I didn't do.
Yeah.
Because if everyone believes it and I can't prove it's not true, then that's just the truth to everybody. You know, and that's a horrifying thought, especially if it's something like horrible. And the whole ending of that story is like Laughing Jack convinces everyone that the mother killed and gutted her child.
Yeah.
What an awful thing to live with. Like, that story's not super great, but the implications of that and the mentality of that has something that's horrified me since I heard that story as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to it. The whole Slender Man thing. I like the idea of Slender Man. I never really cared for the direction they went with, like, almost everyone who wrote a creepypasta wanted to relate back to Slender Man somehow. Everyone's some kind of proprietor of Slender Man. You know, every story somehow comes back to him, and I never liked that. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, I think that there's like I enjoy a lot of them, and as I was going through the list, like there's so many other ones that I like the it breathes, it bleeds, it breeds. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, that was the body horror one, right? Where dude, that's the one that always bothered me too, because I'm not super great with body horror, but that one specifically, there's that part where they're talking about him looking in the mirror and just seeing the cove in his bed, like tryphobia.
Yeah.
I'm not too messed up with that, but like when you get to like the bigger ones where like there's a bunch of the dots and then there's stuff inside of them, that grosses me out so bad. So the idea of there's this like divot in your back and then something is in there and I don't like it at all.
Well, I know that you're going through the Creepcast things of it all, and I'm seeing one that I really enjoy, just because like I find it hilarious, and we made me and my sick leave brother, we made a lot of jokes about it. But there was one called "We Weren't Allowed to Talk to Women."
Oh, that was another one that I was like, great start. Didn't really care for where it went because the whole like I kind of like the concept, the blueprint, if you will, of like kind of like backwater hillbilly family.
Oh yeah,
who's like not really aware of the rest of the world, who's messed up. Like you get things like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like a classic example of that.
Sure.
You know, that archetype is something that you know is kind of a messed up stereotype, but it leans into horror. It lends itself to horror really well, I think.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of like they're not even allowed to talk to women.
Yep.
Like that, it was so weird. Like it wasn't. You'd think like by a title like that would be like an incel thing, but the direction they took, I thought was actually super interesting, and I was really into it. And then it was like, I'm a big bug. I'm a big bug, and you're gonna breed me.
Yep.
Breed me, baby. I was like, no, I don't want to breed them. What was it, like a moth?
It was a moth.
It was a moth.
It was like a moth.
And then he's talking to the horse stories like, I will never experience ecstasy the way I felt having it with that moth.
Yeah.
Bro, calm down.
Yeah, it was wild with that, but I we talk about twists and turns. We kind of called it as we were listening to it. We were like, yeah, he's gonna have a child.
And the child going,
it
was a whole thing.
Yeah, now there's a new mom, essentially.
It was a whole thing. I didn't. That story was mid. Like I said, I liked the concept a lot. I don't really like how it landed, but it wasn't horrible.
There was one more that I want to talk about before we move on. There's one called "I Pretended to Be a Missing Girl."
Oh,
the dad.
I vaguely remember that one.
So essentially, the story goes, they posted for a missing child, and this girl who is like an orphan wanted to take advantage of this family.
And she looked just like the girl.
She looked just like the girl, so she went in to pose as this child. Lo and behold, the dad
killed the child.
No, the dad was holding the kid underneath a shed.
Oh, that's right.
And
so no one was ever meant to respond to the ad because they knew
no one was meant to respond to the ad.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So like, she was trying to like grift them in the way that like, hey, I'm the kid.
Yeah.
While the dad was like, no, you're not. But he had to like pretend.
I forgot. That one sounds really good. I'll have to listen to that one again.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think there was a movie. I think Sydney Sweeney was going to be in it.
Sydney Sweeney.
But yeah, by the end of it, she lights the thing on fire and actually kills
The daughter?
Kills the daughter.
The original daughter?
Yeah.
Dang. I actually forgot. Really quick, we'll go through some of these. First of all, I'd like to touch on creepypasta like adaptations at some point. That's a separate episode.
Yeah,
entirely.
for sure.
But there was a Candle Cove series at one point.
Okay, yeah.
There's been obviously Marble Hornets is a huge one. There's been a bunch of stuff adapted. I'll tell you, I've always wanted to get into the filmmaking stuff.
Yeah.
My goal this coming 2025 or 2026, excuse me, is by the end of the year I will have made a short film, my first short film at least. But something I've always wanted to do as like a way down the line thing is I want to make a pen pal short film. I think that would be really, really cool. But I digress. I think we should talk about that sometime. That'd be really cool. We're already getting to the end of this episode, and I don't think that was the time, but we should do that at some point. If you're at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me.
Oh, the way that he like gets trapped in his mind.
Psychological horror is to me one of the scariest things to deal with. Like I said, big scary monster, whatever. Cult, ghost, whatever.
Trapped in your fucking mind forever.
Dude, horrifying concept.
Oh my god. That's why like the idea of immortality
Goat Man
is like great, but like
no.
If you can't kill yourself, then
I hate immortality. And honestly, that's something. What episode is the Church in the Woods? I think we're the Creepcast episode where Isaiah's going on and on. And he's like, immortality is the most high form of gluttony.
Yeah.
Death is to me what gives life meaning. I would never want to live forever.
Right.
A long life, sure, and one with purpose and meaning, absolutely. But forever, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Goatman. Goatman's a classic.
Yep.
Ted the Caver, the original Creepypasta, that's a really good one.
I think that was the first one.
It's widely regarded as the first one. Yeah. Are you familiar? How familiar are you with SCPs?
I have gone into a couple of them after the Creepcast episode. The CP3, is it 3000?
I think it's 3000, yeah.
I really enjoy the idea of like some CIA-esque like full on
I like the idea
monsters
of like a database.
Uh-huh.
The hard part with that stuff though is like, to me, the biggest line to walk in horror is you cannot be able to do anything about the scary thing.
Yeah.
Or it turns it from horror into action adventure.
Right.
Because to me that's why things like something like it's hard to think of an example off the top of my head, but something like Dead by Daylight. You play the first round of Dead by Daylight, you're like, oh, this is scary, and then the whole point of that game is avoid the killer, trap the killer if you can, shit like that and whatever. Like once it becomes about strategy, it's not scary anymore.
Right.
And same thing like you look at things like Alien, specifically Alien Isolation. The whole point of that game, you have a flamethrower, thing like that. You can't kill the alien.
Right.
But like you have a means of defense, so it becomes to me less scary when you can defend yourself. Like that's why I think some of the classic slashers are some of the scariest ones, because like if you see like Jason Voorhees coming at you, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do?
Run, trip over a couple branches.
You're gonna die. It's plain and simple, So that to me is where that line's drawn, and it's hard with SCPs because the entire point SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect.
Yeah. The
whole point of the SCP Foundation is to stop them, and to me that makes it a little less like scary, when not only they can be contained, but that's the entire point. They are contained.
I think there's a thing to be said about the fact that like, in I want to mention Predator as like the movie series, because whenever it first came out, I would consider it to be more of like a scarier movie versus it being like a full on action movie. But now, ever since like there's like the Predator was like huge, like it was like something that was really hard to stop.
Yeah.
But like later on, it's just like he's just a normal dude.
Yeah, especially some of these newer entries.
Like
and stuff.
The way that they progressed over the time in the series of Predator, like it feels more of a action movie versus it being like a horror suspense.
Yeah. Especially because, those horror movies that kind of walk the line between like being funny and scary.
Yeah.
Like something like Scream.
Yeah.
I think does a really good job at balancing that. But then you get to things like Jason X or Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
Or Freddy versus Jason.
Or like the Leprechaun goes to the
Leprechaun 4. What is it? Leprechaun in the Hood?
Yeah.
Dude. What an insane movie. Do you know the first? Wait, this is super quick because we got to put a cap on this, and also there's nothing to do with creepypastas. But do you know what the first horror movie you ever saw was?
Yes.
What was it?
House on the Haunted Hill.
Don't know that one.
Let me. I want to preface this and tell you exactly how old I was whenever it came out because I saw it in the movie theaters. House on. So technically I have like two first horror movies because the very first one I ever like saw when I was a real little kid, maybe like 7 or 8 or so. My mom decided it would be a good idea to just put on Halloween H2O in the middle of the living room. And I was like, oh no. And I kept catching glimpses of it as I was walking through and it scared the crap out of me, which Halloween H2O is one of the least scariest ones in the franchise. But technically, I mean, I watched some of that. But the first horror movie I ever watched start to finish was The Babadook. Never seen it.
No? Yeah. It's a pretty... You ever seen that one meme where it's like, why can't you be normal? Ah! That's from that movie.
Huh.
It's pretty good. It's okay.
Yeah.
Was it... Actually, hold on. I can't remember if I watched that or You're Next first. You ever seen You're Next? That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
So... The movie came out in 1999.
Okay.
I saw it in theaters. To avoid saying exactly how old I was, you know.
Yeah, you were definitely too young to be in the movie theater. How did you manage to see that in the movie theater?
My dad took me, like my biological dad.
All right, fair enough.
I remember the part where they were dunked in the big old vat of blood.
Okay. Hey, did you read Absolute Batman?
I did.
What'd you think about it?
Honestly, I really liked it.
I liked it a lot too.
I like the idea of like homie being brought up in the darkness. You know, brought up without the circumstances of being a billionaire.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and
how that roughened him up. Like I question the ideas of like, you know, how he became Batman, because like the whole, what's his name? Ra's al Ghul, that whole arc whenever he, like the original, I'm talking about the original, not the absolute,
okay.
Just like the separation between that, because like he had this full on like upbringing that apparently the Joker gets in this one.
What do you mean?
So I think so. I kind of did a little bit digging because I really enjoy this.
Okay.
The Joker is basically Batman in the Absolute series, Absolute Batman. He's the one that gets his training by Ra's al Ghul, kind of thing, and he's the billionaire.
Is that what's happening?
Yep.
He's a suit of babies they introduced in the second volume. That's not out yet because I don't think the second volume of the 3 Absolutes come out until like February.
Yeah. But yeah, he's basically Bruce Wayne.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I like the idea of the swap.
Some of the changes I don't really care for, like the stuff they did with the Joker. Honestly, I don't much care for. I think Black Mask's design is super ugly.
I liked it.
But for the most part, I actually like it a lot. I love his dynamic with Alfred.
Yeah, the CIA agent dude.
Yeah, I relate, I think, a lot more. And stories where you can relate to the main character, I think, are the best ones to follow. That's why I like Spider-Man so much.
Exactly. I think that's one of the reasons that, like, it makes him more relatable because he's not the billionaire that ever, like, you know. It's
just him and his friends. They grew up on the street. Like,
and his dad's a fucking teacher. His mom's a social worker.
Yeah.
Like,
and Jim Gordon's the mayor.
Yeah,
I think Absolute Batman did the least amount of changing, but the changings they did were very prominent and good. I think.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm going to give you Absolute Superman, and you'll see the crazy. I still haven't started Absolute Wonder Woman, unfortunately. When I went on this trip, I wanted to bring some with me just in case I had some downtime.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring like weird stuff. So I just brought Spider-Man Blue, and I brought Superman for All Seasons, and I did end up reading I think about half of Spider-Man Blue. I'm almost done with that. It's actually really good.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I still haven't started. And now I don't want to. And now I don't want to start Absolute Wonder Woman until I finish Spider-Man Blue because I already started that book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give you Absolute Superman at some point, and you can see Superman. Absolute Superman is a lot different from Total Superman, and it's the difference between Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman. Like the changes is crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, all in all, very good.
I genuinely liked it. I'm gonna pick up the next.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I recommend,
think I'm gonna
honestly,
continue it.
if you liked that one, I can't say for sure. I've read the first volume's worth of that one, Superman, Martian Manhunter, and the Flash so far.
Yeah.
I'll probably get the trade for those and Green Lantern when they come out as well.
I think the Green Lantern one I'd be interested in as well.
I'm up in the air about it. I haven't really think about the Green Lantern one that made me want to get it at all.
Yeah.
But, I got Absolute Wonder Woman. I didn't really care about that one either. So I'll give them all a shot. I think that,
I like the Absolute Universe.
That's what I was going to say, is I feel like the fun part with comics is it's kind of hard to find a starting point.
Yeah.
And with something like Absolute and even these Ultimate comics
You're getting
Marvel
the beginning, man.
Exactly. It's concise. There's clear starting points. Like, just get all these first volumes and then just keep running with them.
Yeah.
I recommend it, yeah.
Yeah.
Grab Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman if you can, and then grab those ones when they come out if you want to, too.
Yeah. I think I like the idea of individual trades or individual, but I like collecting the 1 through 5s.
I prefer trades in my opinion, just because I kind of like having the whole setting. It's kind of hard when you collect them individually because I never did that until recently.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, especially I think the ones I'm grabbing right now are like Battle Beast, Ultimate Spider, especially Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is difficult because not a whole lot happens until like roughly 5 or 6 when it comes to like a trade's worth, right? They want to end a trade with a cliffhanger. So the last couple of issues that would come out that would be the next trade are where it starts to really pick up and get interesting.
Yeah.
And until then, like sometimes there's a lot of filler episodes or issues, in Ultimate Spider-Man. I feel like right now, especially with Battle Beast, the narrative is just kind of slow.
Yeah.
That I think as a trade it'd be a lot of fun to just like sit down and boom, 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 boom. But when I've been reading this month to month, and so far all that's happened is he just kills the new guy every week. Basically, it's
it gets a little tiring.
Exactly.
You're not as excited for it whenever it comes out.
So I agree. I like collecting trades more.
But speaking of challenges, you got to watch One Piece.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Tell me how that went, man.
All right. So here's the dealio.
Yep.
You challenged me to watch 5 episodes of One Piece.
Yes.
And I watched 7.
You loved it.
No. I wanted to give it a very fair shot because if I had to watch it, I've been shitting on it for so long. I actually recently found out, like I said, going back, I have been shitting on it since the first episode.
Yeah.
So I really was like, if I'm going to give it a shot, I need to give it a shot. And I was talking last episode, my buddies David and Matt they watch it like religiously. In fact, I think they're either almost or they are caught up.
Which is awesome.
So they've been trying for years to get me to watch it.
Uh-huh.
And David, always up and down the wall, said, you need to get to the part where Luffy puts his hat on Nami's head.
Yes.
And once you get to that point, that's when you know if you like it or not.
Yeah, when they fight Arlong.
Spoilers. He just said puts her hat on his head. Or vice versa, excuse me. So I tried to power through. I tried to get to that point. There was a couple parts because where I was supposed to finish, they either start to or they are fighting. What's the clown guy's name?
Buggy.
Yeah, they're fighting Buggy. I thought with the way things were teeing up that was going to happen at the end of that fight. So I kept trying to keep watching, trying to power through to get to the hat scene.
I think that is a little bit too far for your expectations, because if you're just trying to power through the next episode, I don't think that happens for like 20 episodes.
Oh, gee willikers.
Yeah, like it. Honestly, I can completely agree with them when it comes down to like getting to that point. One Piece is one of those animes that is very, very difficult to get into because of how much of a slow burn it is. I think that there are a lot of great aspects of One Piece that you get throughout the series in small chunks. The Straw Hat Pirates and how they're acquired throughout, and like the camaraderie and like the familyness of it all is one of the best narratives in anime that I've ever seen.
Okay.
And I think that like
I can kind of see that. I got that a little bit. Yeah.
Getting to that point is, you know, a lot of the basis of the anime, and you get to see it with the, you know, the putting the hat on Nami's head. You know, how she went from being, you know, a swindler, you know, someone who is only money hungry, to being like, all right, I'm going to go with this guy. I trust him.
Yeah. That's kind of where like I won't lie, I was starting to get to a point where I was getting kind of invested.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing so far, to be so honest with you, is I don't think I like Luffy at all.
Really?
I think Luffy's kind of an asshole. I think Zoro is the GOAT.
Zoro is fantastic.
Zoro's awesome.
A lot of people like the series for Zoro and Sanji. I don't think you don't know who Sanji is. Yeah, Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah, no, it's just the dynamic he had. What's the one guy's name with the glasses? The first episode drops him off. He wanted to be a Marine. Joe. John something.
I can't remember.
John Joseph Jangleheimer Schmidt or something.
But yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was just a dick to that guy. He's like, "Why'd you hit me?" Because I felt like it.
Yeah.
And then
there's an arc with that.
I know.
And there's a like. Yeah.
I know. I got it, and I got it to the point when they were at the Marine stuff too. Of like he's basically like making him like
tough,
thick skin. Yeah. But and then I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head just because of you know, I watched it a couple days ago now, and there were certain parts where he was just like, he annoyed me. I was like, dude, Luffy, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, like you know, I'm sure he grows as a character, or whatever, or as time goes on, you learn to like him or whatever. But I think, to me, the hardest part so far was just I couldn't stand Luffy.
So Luffy is one of the characters that like is a very goofy, like, you know, bubbly, bouncy
but
kind of guy.
I love that. I love goofy character who gets serious when they need to. I mean, hell,
Exactly.
My favorite superhero, Spider-Man. I get it.
But I think that's like one of the things that like they tried to do with the character was like have that goofy part, and then whenever he gets serious, then you know he's serious.
Yeah, and like I said, I love that archetype. I really, really, really do. Especially as someone who, you know, in my real life I'm a bit of a goofy goober. I'm a goofball. I love that archetype. It's just that like I don't know. I wish I had maybe like written something down and I had a more specific way to describe what it is I didn't like about him, but something about him just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
No, I get it. And I think that I think you would benefit from, there are people out there who cut out the filler. You can watch One Piece without all the filler, without the pacing issues. And I think that would be your best shot.
I'm sorry, but that's something that bothered me a lot too. And part of the reason, and I talked about it in the first episode, of the fact that I can't stand the pacing. But when I was here that one time, and you were watching on the TV, we'd watched like 5 episodes together.
Yep.
And all that happened was Luffy jumped the wall.
Yep.
He jumped the wall, and I think he started to fight somebody, but like nothing really came of it.
Yep. I think it was whenever he was saving Ace, or trying to save Ace. Like that was a huge that's a huge part of the story.
But it bothered me because nothing happened. 5 whole episodes, and all they did was jump a wall.
Yep.
And when I started it, I was actually impressed. The pacing is really good in those first 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did continue a little bit. It starts in 6 and 7.
Yep.
By episode 7, the first 4 or 5 minutes, I think it was 4. I counted at one point. The first like 4 minutes of the episode, of a 24-minute episode, by the way, is just recap.
Yep.
And they have a break in between. It's like a couple seconds for the
fill
commercial, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
and then
outro and then the intro.
Yeah. And then obviously the actual intro, which is like 3 or 4 minutes, and then the outro, which is like 3 or 4 minutes. So when you're already cutting 8 minutes off the beginning of the end, and then adding an extra 4 minutes of filler, that's 12 minutes of a 24-minute episode. That's only half of the episode that's actually content.
Yeah. And
that's insane.
And the time, like a lot of the time, it's not even like the progressing of the main story.
No, it's just them talking
like
for a little bit. Yeah,
like it's like this is also going on while the main thing's going on, and then like, you know, it's a different perspective of the same kind of timeline, and like there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think that to give it the best shot that you could if you wanted to. I know that you probably don't, and that's okay. A part of this is to get you to talk and see a lot of what anime has to offer, and really kind of try to expand your palette on it.
I honestly may try to continue to get to that hat point, because now that I've already given it the start of it and given it a shot, you know, he's been swept on the wall for years. I was like, honestly, if I'm going to give it a shot, I need to give it a fair shot. So I might continue it and try and get to the hat part. Yeah. But once I hit that, I think that'll be the definitive. I mean, he says that at that point you'll know. So if I don't like it by that point, I just don't like it, you know? But I did. I gave it a fair shot. I was unbiased. I watched it. I had some likes. I had some criticisms. So I can shit on One Piece in full fairness now. You say don't knock it till you try it. Well, I tried it. One Piece is stupid.
Sounds like we need to challenge each other.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to do the other thing.
Yeah.
I would like to, for the length of October, give you some little more like horror, scary-ish comics. Because that's a whole genre that we don't really dive in a whole lot. Most of what I give you is superhero stuff. Yeah. And there is one that I will give you that is still like horror and superhero. But I wanted to give you The Walking Dead, Volume 1. Because, first of all, Kirkman.
Yeah, Kirkman.
We love Kirkman on this show.
We sure do.
You ever heard of Robert Kirkman?
Yeah, let's get him on the show one day.
Get the zebra. Oh, I think the zebra. Yeah, dude, if we could get Robert Kirkman on, we'd peak. Yeah. We'd peak. Yeah. Obviously it's Kirkman's, I would argue, most famous work. It's kind of hard to tell now that Invincible's blown up the way it has, but I would argue still his most popular work. I have read, I want to say like 160 issues of the comic. I'm not done yet, but I'm pretty far into. I think I have almost the whole trades, and I want to say I'm on volume 26 out of 32. So I'm pretty far into it. I love it. I have not ever seen the show, never once. Have you seen the show? No. Cool. So this would be kind of like a fresh slate for you too. Then.
Wait. Yes, I have.
How much of it?
Kind of a good bit of it, actually.
How do you not remember that? And you're like, no, I've never seen it. Wait, actually, I've seen a good bit of it.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Okay, and I stopped watching it after Glenn died.
That's a really good part in the comic.
Yeah. Like, whenever he died, he got bodied by a bat.
I'm familiar, yeah.
I went, and how graphic and horrifying that was to watch. I never watched it again.
Oh, I was so mad. And the worst part is, I'm pretty sure I knew it happened, because I think I had seen that scene, and I knew it happened in the comic. Because my goal was, I didn't realize how long the comic was, so my goal was to wait until I finished the comic, and then I would start watching the show. But I started reading the comic when I was in high school, and I still haven't finished it yet because of how long it is. And not necessarily because of how long it is, but just it's hard to keep your attention wrapped the whole time. Yeah. With how long it is, sometimes you get spouts where like sometimes a lot of the same stuff just happens for a while. You'll go like 20, 30 issues where it's just like, we're in this camp. Oh, something bad happened, but at least we have the camp. Yeah. Oh, something bad happened, but at least we have the camp. Yeah. And all of a sudden the camp gets destroyed. You're like, okay, finally something's actually happening. Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the first volume is really good, and I would like you to get kickstarted on that. I think that's a good, it's Kirkman, it's zombies, it's Halloween. What a better time to read it. So yeah, The Walking Dead Volume 1.
Cool. I'm gonna stick with the same kind of the same kind of like, horror or darker kind of anime. You're going to watch the first 5 episodes of Death Note.
Ooh, okay. I'm actually really, really excited for that, because out of all the anime that I've ever heard about, Death Note might be one of the, if not the most popular, especially as like the starter ones go. Yeah. And I've always heard really good things about it. I thought it looked cool. Yeah. But I've never really given it a shot. So I'm actually really excited for that. I've wanted to check that out for a while.
Yeah,
so
it's one of significant other's favorite animes.
I actually made a joke about that in the second episode. I realized today, because you were talking about the intros, you brought it up, and you kept not bringing up Berserk, and I was like, write my name in that damn book.
Yeah. So we're gonna give
when do you challenge me to watch Berserk?
Never.
Feel no shame about shape.
I only give you good animes on the show.
We'll show you another way. So
all right. Well, I think that it's time to.
Will be wrong. Time to what?
I think it might be time to roll for ending. That is a 17.
Oh God. Okay. 17. 38. Hey, but that's got. We had that last episode too. That's a new segment. Every episode we have to talk about Fetty Wap. He's the new Invincible of the podcast. Yep. Okay, so in light. Oh God.
Is that birthday party?
No, it's not. In light of last episode, we added a new thing to the list, and I really didn't think we would get it this early. But Derek, hey, let's go. We gotta go stand in line. Come on.
Alrighty.
So we are currently standing in line. Derek, you tell him.
Did you bring the whipped cream? Or?
Derek, you tell him.
We finally made it to the French toast orgy.
Why is the line so long?
I mean, it's a good place. I hear they got good pancakes.
I'm nervous. I've never had
that guy looks large.
French toast before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure they got a lot of fruits in there.
Oh, okay. That was layered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope we don't get whipped in there.
Oh, I kind of hope I get whipped in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to experiment, man.
How long? Do they have like a? Is there a bouncer up there?
Is there?
Oh, huh. He's got a nice beard.
This line is so long.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you for listening to the Variety Voiceover. That's all for this week. No, let me finish.
Leave the poor guy alone.
In the meantime, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube. While on YouTube, you can check us out on Comeback Kid Films for video projects. You can email us to be part of the show. We'll give you a little card at the end of this. VarietyVoiceoverPod@gmail.com. But as for now, hey man, this voice is open. You excited to get into? Awesome.
I hate this show.
Oh, I'm so excited. Pancakes are gonna be great.
French toast orgy right after we added it. That's insane.